Welcome to Generally Speaking, the Week 1 post-game edition on Fox Sports New Jersey, 93.5 FM, 1450 AM. I'm your host, Angelo Fioris. Welcome. 27-10, the final score from Birmingham last night. The New Jersey Generals ending up on the wrong side of that score, a matchup of the two 9-1 teams from a year ago, but only one of them looked like the 9-1 team last night, and that was the defending champion Birmingham Stallions. Everything was working for Birmingham last night. The passing game was working. The running game was effective when it needed to be. The defense made the stops they had to make, and the kicking game was also on point. Conversely, for the Generals, it was a case of missing identity. They never got into a rhythm. We didn't see the running game that we've been accustomed to. The defense played well, however, but the coaching staff, some play calls that I did not necessarily agree with in key spots of the game. Let's talk about the game, but before we do that, let's hear from Coach Mike Riley in his post-game press conference.
When you put a whole bunch of stats together from a whole bunch of games and you look at penalties and turnovers, it doesn't change. They play a major factor in games. The other one's big plays, and they hit one right off the bat, put us on our heels. I loved how we responded to that. However, I think we have a good football team. I don't think we played well enough consistently. We did some things I really liked. But not well enough consistently to win tonight for sure.
Opening kickoff went to New Jersey, and the Generals started to move the ball decently. They got a first down, and then Braden Bowman, the tight end, caught a pass from DeAndre Johnson, the starting quarterback tonight.
Johnson, little dump pass out to the tight end. Braden Bowman, ball came out, and Birmingham recovers.
First turning point of the game, first big play of the game, and it took away any immediate momentum that the Generals may have been building up. It seemed to snuff out their energy for the rest of the game, truthfully. So now Birmingham takes over on their own 40, and they immediately go for broke.
And the Stallions take over at the 40-yard line. Smith looking deep over the middle of the field. He's got a man. Caught. Falling down. What a grab made by Austin Watkins. Big gain on first down, and the first play for the Stallions gets him inside the 10.
Kurt, I don't think he got touched, and as he rolled in, this is a touchdown for the Stallions.
61-yard bomb from Jamar Smith to Austin Watkins, who streaked down the center of the field, completely wide open, made the catch, fell to the ground, and rolls into the end zone for the score. 7-0 Stallions. It's like a 7-second drive, one play covering 61 yards. And now the Generals get the ball back on the kickoff. They return plus a penalty, sets them up at midfield with 12 and a half minutes to play in the first quarter. However, not much on offense on that drive by the Generals, so they kick back to the Stallions, who take over on their own 8-yard line. Fortunately, the Generals were also able to force the Stallions to punt and then took over on their own 43. We're down to 6:46 to go in the first quarter. And in comes Dakota Prukop. Now, we wondered, would it be DeAndre Johnson's job? Would we see a dual QB system like last season? I kind of got the sense that we would, just because the Generals coaches were so hush-hush leading up to opening day about what their plans were. But there it is. Dakota Prukop comes in, along with Kingston Davis, the second running back, Trey Williams being inactive for last night. Davis ripped off an 8-yard run, but then the Generals, facing a 3rd and 3, got hit with a false start penalty. Terry Poole turning it into a 3rd and 7, and New Jersey could not convert and had to kick it back to the Stallions, who took over on their own 15-yard line. Empty on the first couple of drives for New Jersey. Good defense by the Stallions in the early going of the game. The Generals defense responded by holding the Stallions to punting. With 2:06 remaining in the first quarter, New Jersey has the ball back, and in comes again Dakota Prukop. First down by Davis, who runs the ball down to the sideline. Then a pass to Cam Eccles-Looper for another first, and the Generals are quickly in business at the Stallions' 35-yard line. Another run by Davis carries the ball to the 30, and the first quarter ends with New Jersey down by a touchdown, 7-0. In the second quarter, on the opening play, a nice run by Kingston Davis takes the ball to the 20 for a first down. Good block by Bowman to spring him on the play. Facing a 3rd and 7, Prukop drops back to pass and with time finds Looper at the 2-yard line for a 1st and goal. On the next play from the 2, Coach Riley calls the QB's number.
Hey, go! On the keeper, touchdown, Prukop. I think he likes going airborne.
Jumping into the end zone to tie the game. Nick Skiba hit the PAT, and we're all even up with 12:10 to go. 7-7. 9 plays, 4 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock. And now you're thinking to yourself, wow, we've got something going here with Davis and Prukop. But at the same time, you're wondering, what about DeAndre Johnson now after Prukop gets 2 consecutive drives to run the offense? So 7-7. It's a tough battle to this point, just as we expected. 12:03 to go. Birmingham now with the ball on their own 41-yard line. Good pressure on first down. Jamar drops back to pass, and he's feeling the heat from the Generals, so he drops the ball into an open area, and receiver falls right under it, grabbing the ball, corralling it, and it's a first down in New Jersey territory for the Stallions. Really nice play by Jamar. Next play, completion to Jay Sternberger, who was very impressive last night, and it's a first down at the New Jersey 25. Toss in a flag for a helmet yank by Askew Henry, and the Stallions find themselves on the New Jersey 8 and knocking on the door again. New Jersey catches a break, though, as the Stallions stalled, a low snap hitting the ground, forcing Jamar to cover the ball, and they bring in Brandon Aubrey for the field goal attempt with 8:13 until the half, and he hits it. Mr. Aubramatic, 10-7, Birmingham now. It's DeAndre Johnson back in at quarterback. And I got to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of this shuffling QB system that the Generals have in place. It's not allowing either of the two guys to get into a rhythm. I think both are pretty talented, but you really need reps to get going, don't you? At least that's what I've been told all these years. So it's DeAndre Johnson back in there. And on a 3rd down, he does drop back to pass, finds nothing open, and takes off.
Leading the 47. Johnson running, gets it, and more. Across midfield into Birmingham territory, lowers his head.
29 yards right down the middle, great speed, and even lowers the shoulder upon making contact with the defender. First down on the 27-yard line of the Stallions for New Jersey. A screen pass to Bowman takes it to the 19, a Darius Victor handoff, and then another run, and we're on the 2-yard line with just under 4.5 minutes to go until the break. DeAndre Johnson, keeper, falls short of the goal line, and then a poorly executed 3rd down pass, DeAndre bobbling the snap, and the Generals facing themselves with a 4th and goal now. First key decision of the game for Coach Riley. Do you bring in Skiba, let the guy kick the field goal? Coach Riley passes on the field goal attempt and decides to keep the offense on the field.
Johnson on the keeper, diving. No! He is stopped.
I think everybody was expecting Darius Victor to get the ball, but instead a quarterback sneak was called. Johnson running to the right side of the end zone to try to score, jumps and sticks the ball out to try to break the plane of the goal line, and the referees ruled that he was short. Upon further review, replay confirmed the call, but when you look at the video, it seemed to me like the ball broke the plane of the goal line. Pereira blew it on that one, as far as I'm concerned. But nevertheless, it's a turnover on downs. Stallions take over inside their own 1 with 3:20 remaining. New Jersey coming up empty instead of taking the 3 points. Again, questionable play calling there on 3rd and 4th down. Why you're not pounding Darius Victor is a question I think all of us have. At the same time now, bad news for the Stallions. Scooby Wright was seen on the sidelines removing his tape. Already injured calf coming into the game for the guy, and it appears that he aggravated it. He did not return. First play from the 1-yard line, and Jamar Smith in the end zone scrambling around, decides to throw the ball away while he's under pressure, but he didn't quite throw it away enough.
Without him, that's a big loss right now. Jamar Smith, and it picked off. Threw it on the run. Donnie Lewis intercepted it. This is a gift.
Picked off by New Jersey. DJ Daniel making the interception. First down. What a gift for New Jersey. After failing to score inside the 2-yard line, they now have a first down inside the 20, 1 play later. Bad job by Jamar. He really needed to just toss that ball completely out of bounds. With 3:12 until the half, the Generals now try to take advantage of their big break. DeAndre Johnson back in at QB, a couple of runs, gets it down inside the 10, and we're facing a second down at the 2-minute warning. New Jersey knocking on the door. A pass to Bowman failed as Johnson had to release the ball a little earlier than he wanted. The Stallions with good pressure on this play. Bowman diving for the pass, and it was just out of his reach. In comes Nick Skiba for his first try of the season, and he makes the kick to tie the game at 10 with 1:55 to go before the break. That was a 3-play drive, 7 yards, 1:17 off the clock, and we're down to 1:44 left in the half. 1:44 remaining until the half, and Jamar Smith now under center, still scrambling for a first down near midfield. Next play, a pass over the middle to the very impressive Jay Sternberger, and they're on the New Jersey 33-yard line and moving. A couple of penalties by the Generals helped the Stallions along, and on a third down play, Marlon Williams with a juggling catch after Smith eluded a charging Toby Johnson. And they get the first down, but Williams popped up injured on the play, hopping off the field. A very tough loss for the Stallions. This guy was their leading receiver last year, and they were really counting on him for this year. We found out later on that it was a torn Achilles. Just a bad injury for the Stallions, a bad injury for Marlon Williams, and our heart goes out to him. On the next play, in comes Magoo. Jamar Smith getting a little dinged up. I thought it was a weird time to bring in a cold QB who was literally warming up his arm as the coach was giving him instruction. I didn't realize that Jamar was hurt at the time. So on his first play of the season, Alex Magoo drops back to pass, and this happened.
And Alex Magoo towards the back of the end zone, caught. Second effort, but Jay Sternberger gets the touchdown.
Jay Sternberger's first TD of his USFL career. The kick was good after the touchdown, 17-10 Stallions, and that's how the first half ended. 1:40 off the clock on that drive. 11 plays, 66 yards, and the interchangeable QB that Stallions have, which we discussed on the pregame show, reared its head and burned the Generals. At the break, you look at the statistics, New Jersey with nearly 18 minutes time of possession to only 12 for the Stallions. Of course, the one play, 61-yard drive and the turnover, the difference maker there. The Generals had the ball 7 times. The Stallions had it 6 times. New Jersey ran 31 plays to the Stallions 26 in the first half. Yardage, 185 to 158 in favor of the Stallions at the break, and red zone possessions 3-2 in favor of New Jersey. So the Generals have had their chances in this first half, but find themselves on the back end of a 17-10 deficit. So to the third quarter we go, where the Stallions get the ball first, and Magoo is in to begin the half. They stall there. They don't go anywhere on their opening half, and the Stallions punt the ball to New Jersey into the end zone. So the Generals take over on their own 20. Good job by the defense to start the half on a positive note. Prukop starts the second half at quarterback, and on his first pass, he finds Pearson L for a short gain, and then Pearson L again on a 15-yard reverse. Nice gain by him. I like the skill he showed. It's unfortunate he got hurt later on in the game during garbage time. Then Prukop
out the middle of that defense.
Here's Prukop, lost the football, and Birmingham recovers.
Never really holding the ball securely, got hit and fumbled. The ball was kicked around and eventually fallen on by the Stallions for New Jersey's second turnover. The Stallions now with a 7-point lead and in prime field position, looking to deliver a blow to the Generals. And after a first down on a pass, the very next play, Magoo using his legs.
Magoo pulls it down. He can run. First down and more as Magoo goes all the way down to the goal line. Ball came out. Give him a touchdown.
29 yards. It was a 2-play drive. 40 yards in total, only 45 seconds off the clock, and the PAT is good with 9:41 remaining in the third quarter. The Stallions have stretched their lead to 2 touchdowns at 24-10, and you get the sense that the Generals are in trouble. 2 touchdown drives for the Stallions, totaling about 52 seconds in time elapsed, plus 2 turnovers were the difference in the game to this point. Generals taking over, trailing by 2 scores. Prukop back out there, and a big play by Bowman, 25-yard rumble on a pass from the quarterback. Under 8 minutes to go now in the third quarter, and then Prukop gets sacked. The first sack of the game by either team, setting up a 3rd and 10. passing complete, and the Generals again forced to punt with 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Stallions taking over on their own 38. Jamar Smith still on the bench. Magoo is in the game, and he gets sacked on a third down by Bryson Young, the Generals' first sack of the season, which was nice to see, considering they only had 10 all last season as a team. And that gives the Generals the ball back. It's still the third quarter, 4.5 minutes to go, and you feel like, all right, maybe offensively just put something together and you can get back into this game. There's still enough time. So Darius Victor gets a carry and he rumbles for 48 yards down the left sideline. His best run of the day, the Generals' best play of the day, really. And a nice block by Eccles-Looper on that run. Now facing a 4th and 1 at the 30 of the Stallions with 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Another big decision for Riley. Decides to go for it. This time it's DeAndre Johnson around the right side for a 12-yard gain to the 18-yard line. For the first 7 plays of this drive, it's been all runs. That's where the quarter ended. Generals facing a 3rd and 7, heading to the 4th, down 24-10. In the fourth quarter, with the Generals facing a 4th and 2, and they decide to go for it yet one more time, but inexplicably called the first pass of the drive, which got tipped at the line by Tillman. Nice job by him. And it fell incomplete just out of the reach of Cam Eccles-Looper. So with 14 minutes and 15 seconds to go, a 9-play, 74-yard drive comes up with no points for New Jersey. Stallions defense holding firm. On the ensuing drive, Magoo, under pressure on a 3rd down, steps away from it and finds an open receiver for a key play, 19 yards at the 12-minute mark. Another 3rd and long. It seemed like the Stallions were in several 3rd and longs all night long, but they managed to convert the majority of them. Again, Magoo burning the Generals with his legs for 14 yards, and the drive now keeps going and going, and the clock approaching under 10 minutes to go, becoming a major factor. C.J. Marable moves the chains again into New Jersey territory with a nifty 16-yard jaunt, and with under 9 to go, Chase Sternberger with a great bobbling grab, falling forward, securing the ball, and gaining a first down. More clock comes off, but the Generals do stop the Stallions, and in comes Aubrey for a long attempt, 49 yards, and he nailed it. Why wouldn't he? The guy was all USFL last year, and it's now a 17-point game, 27-10 Stallions, a 7-minute, 21-second drive, 12 plays, 59 yards. We've only got 6:53 remaining in the game, and it's not looking good for New Jersey at this point. They bring back DeAndre Johnson to try to spark this offense, but he misses a wide open Cam Eccles-Looper. And now with another 4th down and 5:12 to go on their own side of the field, they had no choice but to go for it. And DeAndre Johnson dropping back to pass, throws incomplete. He was hit as he threw the ball, and the Generals turn it over on downs yet again. From there, it was just a matter of clock killing. The Stallions ran some clock before punting it back to the Generals, and the Generals, without much time to do anything, failed to really get going. And that was the final score, 27-10, a dominant performance by Birmingham. A great job of coaching by Skip Holtz and his staff of having his team ready. On the other hand, for New Jersey, they've got to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out exactly who they are, because this did not resemble the team we saw a year ago, at least not offensively. From the defensive standpoint, I thought that New Jersey did a good job. They held the Stallions on plays when they needed to. Yes, they got burnt on that opening play for the 61-yard bomb. And yes, Magoo burned them for that 29-yarder. And yes, they gave up a couple of big 3rd and longs. But you can't keep asking the defense to keep making stops while the offense continues to come up empty. Let's review the final stats from last night. We go with team stats first. Time of possession, 32 minutes, 16 seconds for New Jersey, 27-44 for the Stallions. Again, when you have 2 drives that total 45 seconds and both result in touchdowns, that's going to be the difference in a game. Each team had the ball 12 times. The Generals ran 62 plays to 49 for Birmingham. Total yards, 356 for New Jersey, 310 for the Stallions. Passing yards, 164 for the Generals, 223 for Birmingham. Rushing yards, 192 for the Generals. That was the quietest 192 you ever saw, especially when you consider that Darius Victor and Kingston Davis each got only 8 carries. In fact, out of those 192, 29 yards came on the DeAndre Johnson run, and another 48 came on the Darius Victor run. So if you remove those two from the equation, the Generals rushed for approximately about 120 some odd yards for the rest of their 28 attempts. Not exactly the average that you'd be looking for. 2 turnovers were really the key. The Stallions did turn it over once as well, but New Jersey failed to fully capitalize on that one. Taking a look at the individual player statistics for last night, it was Prukop throwing for 148 yards on 13 of 17 passing. He scored a touchdown on the quarterback sneak. DeAndre Johnson did not fare so well through the air, 4 for 13 for only 29 yards. Rushing, it was Darius Victor leading the way for 84 yards. Only on 8 carries. You really wanted to see him get the ball a lot more last night. DeAndre Johnson, 7 carries for 45 yards, the bulk of that coming on the 29-yard sprint up the middle. And Kingston Davis showed a little flash, 8 rushes for 36 yards. Wide receivers were led by Cam Eccles-Looper. Nice to see him get more involved in the offense. 5 receptions for 54 yards. Braden Bowman, 3 grabs for 40 yards. He had the big fumble, however, on the first drive of the game. Randy Satterfield with 3 catches for 34 yards. Defensively, Chris Orr, 8 tackles. Askew Henry with 6 tackles. Mike Bell Jr. with 5 tackles as well. And of course, you had the big interception by DJ Daniel. Kicker Nick Skiba made his only field goal attempt, made his only extra point. Hopefully that is an indicator of what we can expect out of the kicking game for the rest of the season from the Generals. And from a punting standpoint, Brock Miller did not have his best night. 3 punts, 31-yard average. Our generally speaking player of the game is quarterback for the Birmingham Stallions, Alex Magoo. Who else could it be? The man came in off the bench, threw a touchdown pass on his first play of the game, was 7 for 11 for 68 yards, and on the ground led his team 6 carries for 51 yards, including that 29-yard touchdown. Looking ahead to next week now for the Generals, it's a date with the Pittsburgh Maulers as the 2 teams link up to kick off the USFL schedule at the Canton Hub, just outside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's really important for New Jersey to figure out exactly who they are offensively and put together a game plan that will allow them to be competitive into the fourth quarter to try to win this game and not fall to 0-2 next week. Highlights courtesy of Fox. As always, we appreciate them allowing us use of their audio. That's it for this week's post-game show. I'm your host, Angelo Fioris, on Fox Sports New Jersey, 93.5 FM, 1450 AM, and on YouTube at USFL Today. We'll be back on Saturday morning, 9 a.m., right here on Fox Sports Radio New Jersey with the New Jersey Generals pregame show, preparing you for their big match on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Maulers. We will see you next week on Generally Speaking.